The rain had started before sunrise, turning the city streets silver beneath the neon lights. Marcus Reed stood outside the towering glass building with his 5-year-old daughter asleep against his shoulder, her tiny fingers wrapped around the collar of his worn jacket. He looked up at the gold letters above the entrance. Blackthorn Security International. The company was famous for protecting billionaires, diplomats, and celebrities. Men from military units around the world competed for a chance to work there. Marcus had spent the last of his savings on a bus ticket just to attend the tryouts. He adjusted Lily carefully in his arms and stepped inside. The lobby instantly fell quiet. Dozens of huge men filled the waiting area. Broad shoulders. Expensive tactical gear. Tattoos. Military haircuts. Some wore combat boots that probably cost more than Marcus's monthly rent. And then there was him. An exhausted single father holding a sleeping child and carrying an old duffel bag. A few men smirked immediately. One leaned back in his chair and laughed. "You lost, buddy. Daycare's down the street." Several others chuckled. Marcus ignored them and walked to the registration desk. The woman behind the counter looked surprised. "Sir, are you here for the interviews?" "Yes, ma'am." She glanced at Lily. "You brought your daughter?" "I didn't have anyone to watch her." The woman hesitated before lowering her voice. "These tryouts are intense." "I know." Something in Marcus's calm expression made her stop questioning him. She handed him a badge. Number 47. As he moved toward the waiting area, another contestant blocked his path. The man was enormous, probably 6'5" with arms like tree trunks. "You serious?" the giant asked. "This isn't some mall security job." Marcus shifted Lily gently without waking her. "I know what it is." The man looked him up and down. "You don't belong here." Marcus simply nodded once. "Maybe." That answer somehow irritated the man even more. The first round began an hour later. A trainer marched them into a massive gym filled with obstacle courses, punching bags, mats, and sparring rings. Cameras watched from every corner. At the far end stood Evelyn Blackthorn herself, the billionaire CEO everyone hoped to impress. She was known for being ruthless, brilliant, and impossible to intimidate. Her sharp eyes scanned the contestants before stopping briefly on Marcus and Lily seated near the wall with crayons and a juice box. Whispers spread instantly. "She actually brought a kid in here? This guy's finished." The trainer barked instructions. "Physical evaluation starts now. Timed endurance course. Top 15 advance." The contestants exploded into motion. Massive men sprinted through obstacles, climbed ropes, and flipped weighted tires. The room echoed with shouting and metal crashing. Marcus moved quietly. No wasted energy. No showing off. While others tried to dominate every obstacle with brute force, Marcus flowed through the course with controlled precision. Efficient. Balanced. Calm. Within minutes, people started noticing. The giant who mocked him earlier struggled dragging a weighted sled while Marcus passed him smoothly without even looking sideways. By the end of the course, the scoreboard flashed results. Number 47 sat at the top. Silence filled the gym. One contestant scoffed. "Lucky run." Another muttered, "Probably a fluke." Marcus walked straight to Lily, kneeling beside her. "You okay, bug?" She smiled sleepily. "Did you win?" "Not yet." Evelyn Blackthorn watched the interaction carefully from above the balcony. The second round was combat sparring. Now the contestants looked excited again. This was where strength mattered. Or so they thought. Pairs entered the ring one by one. Marcus removed his jacket carefully and handed Lily a small stuffed rabbit from his bag. Hold this for me. You be careful, Daddy. I always am. The giant contestant grinned when he saw the matchup board. Number 12 versus number 47. Perfect, he said loudly. I'll make this quick. The surrounding men laughed. Marcus stepped into the ring without expression. The trainer raised a hand. Controlled combat only. First clean takedown wins. The giant cracked his neck dramatically. You should leave before you get hurt in front of your kid. Marcus said nothing. Fight. The giant charged instantly, throwing a wild punch powerful enough to drop most men cold. Marcus slipped sideways. The fist cut through empty air. Before anyone could react, Marcus pivoted behind him, trapped the man's arm, and drove him face first into the mat with terrifying speed. 3 seconds. The entire room froze. The giant groaned in pain, unable to move. Marcus released him immediately and stepped back. Match over, the trainer announced, stunned. No one laughed this time. Evelyn Blackthorne leaned forward slightly. For the next hour, Marcus dismantled every opponent who stepped into the ring with him. Not aggressively. Not cruelly. Efficiently. Every movement looked practiced 1,000 times before. He avoided unnecessary strikes and ended fights almost instantly. One trainer whispered, "Where the hell did this guy train?" Another answered quietly, "That's not gym fighting. That's military." After the final round, Evelyn descended from the balcony herself. The room straightened instantly. She approached Marcus while Lily colored on the floor nearby. "What branch?" Evelyn asked. Marcus hesitated. "Marine Recon," he finally answered. A murmur spread across the room. Evelyn crossed her arms. "Records say you left 8 years ago." "Yes." "Why?" Marcus looked toward his daughter. "My wife died giving birth to Lily. I left service after that." The room became still. "I needed to raise my daughter." Evelyn studied him carefully. "And now?" "I need work." One contestant suddenly scoffed from the back. "Come on. Plenty of vets need jobs. Doesn't mean he's bodyguard material." Evelyn didn't look away from Marcus. "You disagree?" The man stepped forward confidently. "I'm saying real protection work isn't about fancy throws. It's about surviving pressure." Marcus remained silent. The contestant continued, "Put him against Victor." Several heads turned immediately. Even the trainers looked uneasy. Viktor Petrov was Blackthorn Security's top active bodyguard. Former heavyweight fighter. Undefeated in company evaluations for 6 years. A door opened near the training hall. And Victor walked in. He was terrifying. Easily 6'6", scarred, and built like concrete. Lily looked up nervously from her crayons. Marcus gently touched her shoulder. "It's okay." Victor stepped into the ring and rolled his neck. "Who am I fighting?" The contestant pointed at Marcus with a grin. "This single dad." Some people laughed nervously. Victor looked Marcus over once. "You sure?" Marcus nodded calmly. The trainer looked toward Evelyn. "This could get ugly." Evelyn's expression never changed. "Begin." The room fell silent. Victor moved first. Fast. Shockingly fast for someone his size. He launched forward with brutal force, fists like hammers. Marcus avoided the first strike by inches. Then the second. Then the third. The room watched in disbelief as Marcus moved almost effortlessly, reading every attack before it came. Victor grew frustrated and lunged aggressively. That was the mistake. Marcus stepped inside the attack, trapped Victor's wrist, twisted his balance, and drove an elbow sharply into his chest. The giant staggered backward. Gasps erupted. No one had ever knocked Victor off balance. Victor roared and charged again. This time Marcus moved so quickly most people barely saw it. A sidestep. A shoulder lock. A sweep. Victor crashed onto the mat hard enough to shake the ring. 7 seconds. Absolute silence. The strongest man in the company lay flat on his back staring at the ceiling.